more job to do before I go, which is to introduce someone who has indeed seen it all. Now, that's not hyperbole in the case of Marty Sklar, because he actually started working here in this park a month before it even opened. His career at Disney, which he alleges to have retired from last July, and there's not a person here who's buying that for a minute. His career rose to such heights as a leader, as a man who was able to guide people, but he holds a distinction no one else has. Marty Sklar participated in the opening of all 11 Disney parks around the world. It's an extraordinary thing. His window is on the City Hall over there. For generations of us who grew up working here under Marty, they know him as a guru, they know him as a shepherd, and they also know him as a man who always let his conscience be his guide. This is a friend of Richard and Robert. This is Marty Sklar.
I told him I wanted to follow George and not Mr. Showbiz. Just imagine, I mean, Mr. Showbiz, Mary Poppins, Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, and on Broadway, and Lion King and Beauty and the Beast and Little Mermaid and on in animation. Wow, Tom, you're the one that has a great career. So, you're sitting in your office one day when the call comes and you rush to stage A at the Disney studio just in time to hear a parrot sounding a lot like Wally Bogue respond to Walt Disney's question, quote, "What's a four-letter word for what a parrot does on the bottom of its cage?" Grit, the parrot, Wally answers. And the natural question for Dick and Bob Sherman is, what the heck is going on? And what does it have to do with writing songs and movies for television? Well, it's a different world in the Disney parks, as all of you know. But just as their songs created a musical genre for Disney films and television, Dick and Bob Sherman injected musical magic into the Magic Kingdoms in a way no one had ever imagined before. In fact, who can imagine Disneyland without hearing the background music for Summer Magic here on Main Street? Or the beautiful Feed the Birds, as Tom said, when you shop in the Emporium, or the unspellable supercalifragilisticexpialidocious when you ride the carousel in Fantasyland. So when I think of the Disney parks around the world today, I can hear all the birds sing words and the flowers croon, "There's a great big beautiful tomorrow," because one little spark of imagination has been making memories and creating miracles from molecules in a world of laughter, a world of tears, where there's just one moon and one golden sun, and a smile means friendship to everyone. And I'll bet all of you can hear it too. And I forgot the haunting memory of, and I've told Richard about this, my favorite, the long gone Magic Journeys from the Journey into Imagination Pavilion in Epcot. And one even Dick and Bob would probably like to forget, from the Astuter Computer Review in Epcot. Please, don't ask and I won't tell. Those of us who had the privilege of working with Richard M. Sherman and Robert B. Sherman on Disney park shows know that their chemistry with Walt Disney was something no scientist at DuPont or Monsanto could possibly dream up. Walt's dreams were their commands, and in turn, Dick and Bob gave tune and word to Walt's stories for his park worlds and, of course, the World's Fair. Their respect, their love for Walt was never more vocal than in the real words they wrote for that Carousel Progress show. Walt has a dream, and that's the start. He follows his dream with mind and heart. So, you know, it seems so obvious now, but back in the day when the birds first sang words and the children of It's a Small World first sang and danced their way into our hearts, it was all brand new, one of a kind, cutting edge. And two brothers, Richard and Robert Sherman, wrote tunes and words that will last as long as there are Disneylands and worlds somewhere on our truly small planet. And now, here to share a little background on the legacy of our Main Street windows, please welcome the chairman of Walt Disney Parks and Resorts, Tom Staggs.
I have no idea what Marty was complaining about. I get to follow two creative legends. I think they were staging this, they said we're going to need two legends and a suit. Guess who I am? You know, Walt Disney began this tradition of dedicating windows back in 1955. Disneyland was the biggest and perhaps most important creative effort the company had ever undertaken. And Walt wanted to pay tribute to those people who were instrumental in making his dream of Disneyland reality. So he personalized many of the windows along Main Street, USA with their names. Now, throughout the years, we've continued this tradition, recognizing those who have gone above and beyond to create the magic only found in Disney parks and resorts. Richard Sherman and Robert Sherman are two people who have truly earned this honor. Their contributions, as you've heard, have touched every facet of our company. It's indeed a fact that the sun never sets on the music of the Sherman Brothers, which is daily heard at theme parks from California to Orlando to Tokyo, to Paris, and Hong Kong. One of the truths about Disney, actually Richard shared with me early on, he said, this company is one of those companies that you have to love. And the fact is that Richard and Robert obviously loved this company, and they embraced it in a way that's made clear in the great music they wrote for the company. Well, this is our way of embracing you right back. They're obviously the ideal songwriters for a company like Disney. They possess an enduring optimism that permeates every measure of their work. They also have the uncanny ability to bring Disney stories to life through music in both a magical and memorable way. And as I hope Richard will share with us later, there were often times when Walt turned to them when he had a hole in a story or needed a moment to move along, and they were the solution. And so some of the truly great moments in our movies, in television, and here in our parks were made possible by the Sherman Brothers. So now it's time for us to unveil the window. And since I'm the suit, I'd like some help. Who better to help us out than the one and only Mickey Mouse? Thanks for joining us, Mickey. So, Richard, would you please join us as well? Mickey, are you ready? All right, gentlemen, if you please.